everyone. Welcome inside the Distance Learning Center inside Somerset Berkley. We're here with 14 of our Somerset Berkley basketball members, state champions for the first time in 71 years. Let's hear it up for everybody. All right, so this is going to be our championship aftermath show. I'm going to start with Max Finlaw, one of the team captains back there. State champions, immediate thoughts.
It was awesome. It's something that we've been working for all of the years that, this group's been together now, and for it to finally come true is amazing. We knew that we were capable of doing it. It was just actually executing, and that's what we did. So.
And you're one of 4 captains on the team. Talk about what your voice was like on and off the court throughout the whole season.
It was pretty easy, especially being a captain. There wasn't much captain-like duties to do because everybody's on board. Everybody has the same goal. We all know exactly what we're trying to do, and so you didn't really have to keep anybody in check. Like that, but you didn't really have to keep anybody in check. Everybody was on board with it. We had great chemistry all along, but the message was just keep in the back of our minds what we got to do and what we're capable of doing. Remember how last year felt, and not let that happen again. So.
All right, let's go to head coach Bob Slater. Give it up for Coach, everybody. Yeah. Coach, 16 years with this team. You won a state championship before with Attleboro. What makes this one different?
This one's a lot different, man. The kids really worked extremely hard on their game outside of the season, and it showed. And it makes it special because this is a special group of kids, a special group of seniors as well. Never had to yell and scream, and they just did everything we asked, and they did it well. So.
And you just brought it up right there. It's a special group of guys. What makes them special? What makes them different than any other team you've coached here?
Just the unselfishness. We set an example earlier. Our last bucket this year where we had Jacob Lauro give up his own points to pass it to Keegan here so he could score. And that just showed all year our team chemistry. So we were extremely proud of that.
Now, when you, Finn, and I, when we did our championship preview show, you were saying at times, sometimes you weren't even coaching this team. Sometimes you were just watching them. What have you seen through them all year long, and especially the improvement over the last few years?
Every time we faced adversity, we came through. I think it's going to help them in life to reach through. Face some adversity, and we did that a few times. Masco was up 14 at half, and we just came back, scored 50 points in the second half. Stuff like that is the things I'll really remember about this group, that it was never over. We always had a chance.
I think we could go top row, medium, and then the bottom. I'll go with Keegan and Caden Rayum next. Keegan, the student section that was here, especially through the tournament runs, it was a student section that was really criticized throughout the regular season. Weren't showing up, weren't making enough noise. The playoff run, they showed up, and especially to Pope Francis, UMass Lowell. Talk about the students.
The students are great. I like when they get hype. It's,
Louder.
Come on. It helps us bring energy to the game, bring that momentum, right? Colton hits a 3. The crowd's getting hype. Maybe the other team's a little intimidated by that. So, I think it plays a big role.
Well, clearly they do get intimidated by it when you guys go on runs in the second half. Caden, what were your thoughts on the fans and the way they helped you out throughout the tournament run?
I think they have a big impact on the game and how the momentum shifts. And they're very they're a big part of the team also and how they make a run with us.
Dom, one of our top 3-point shooters, a starter on the team. We always have, say, a different player of the game, a different unsung hero that steps up every time. You could probably have been the one for the Final Four and the state championship game. What does it say about your performance and the way you've been able to step up as the season winded down?
I think it's all my teammates. If I start hitting my shots, they're going to look for me just as if Max was hitting his shots or Biz or Finn. We just hit the open guy, and hopefully they hit their shots and feed the hot hand.
All right, we got our JV guys down here. Let's give some noise for the JV guys. This is the future of the program right here. We'll start with Carson, who's all the way on my right. Now, I was told that some of the JV players, you guys actually helped out the varsity team in their practices leading up to the state championship, and that you guys were kind of studying the film of the other teams, figuring out what they bring and how Somerset Berkley was going to attack it. What was it like throughout the whole state tournament prepping for the games?
It was just really just facing the starters every day and trying to imitate the other team and doing our best to make sure they're prepared for the next game.
Same question you guys can answer. You guys can pass it to one another.
Yeah, so we just picked out, we imitated some of the players, and we just acted like they did. Like if they were a shooter, we would pick out that and we would play like that, and they would play our defense, like they would play zone and we would do that.
Yeah, on top of that, it's pretty much the same thing they both said, but it was just overall fun practicing with them,
All right, next one up, we got Colton Pacheco on the right side. Is nifty and crafty. Is like the Jason Williams of Somerset Berkley basketball, if you want to put it that way. Colton, there's not enough good stuff you can say about this team. What does it mean to be a part of it?
To be a part of this team?
Yes.
Oh. Feels really good playing with them since my freshman year. Just really welcomed me in and really just let me be myself. And then really every time score, everyone's just cheering me on and just making noise. It just really gets me more into the game. So it just feels really good to be a part of this team.
3 years on the squad. We're gonna miss you next year. We'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, boo at him. You can boo at him. But what's going to be your biggest takeaway with the team? What's something that's not going to be duplicated wherever you go next year?
Team-wise on this? That's a confusing question. I feel like they're still going to be good regardless. Carson, Duke, Ben, they're all and Gully. I feel like they all played together this year. It's really just going to be the same JV team. Probably Dominic too, so Dominic will really just fit in, and William. So they already have a year playing with each other, so it's gonna be just like this year. It was all the chemistry. So,
all right, let's go to the fan favorites on the left side: Zach King and Max Hansen. Let's go. All right, I want to throw out a serious question. I know you have to say yes, but we all know the answer is no. If you would have said 2 years ago, after the playoff loss that you had in round one, you guys would be state champions and you guys would be getting rings, would you have believed it? I think the answer is no. But I'm after a round one, but what is it? Yeah, correct. But what was the progress over the next 2 years that helped you get above that round one benchmark and up until Final Four last year and state champions this year?
Yeah, to be honest, I always had faith in us because especially growing up, we all kind of played together growing up. Especially, I want to give a big shout out to my dad, Coach Nicholas King, and Coach Ray McDonald, who they coached us when we were growing up. And I feel like they all formed us into really good basketball players. So, and then they got handed over to the best coach ever, Coach Slater. Yeah. So I feel like we were just always surrounded by good coaches, and then we were surrounded by good teammates, which was like each other. So I feel like kind of growing up, playing together since a young age, I feel like we were bound to be state champions at some point. That's my take.
And I have a bias with the Berkeley people here, but it all goes back to the rec days when you guys were on the same, and I'm sure it goes for it with Somerset as well, but it started in those the middle school gyms. You guys came together right away, and I think this is the right crew that brought a state championship here.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree.
Now, Max, similar to Zach, 1 year varsity player, you're never going to forget this season.
Oh, absolutely not. I had so much fun, Me and Zach Haven, we had our celebrations on the bench. It was a great time. I feel like Coach Slater always said the bench is just as important as the starters, and I think we brought that.
Yeah, they did.
Now, you were on JV last year, if I'm not mistaken. What have you seen from the team between last year from Final Four and this year to state champions?
I just saw a lot of fight, especially with the starters. They lost, last year with MC. So I think, there's a lot of grit with them.
All right, let's go to the bottom row. We'll start with Kellen Langlois. Give it up for Kellen, top three-point shooter on the team this year. Kellen, another 1 year varsity player, but if there was ever a time where the Raiders were just struggling to shoot the ball, you get brought in and you can make a three wherever you want. Talk about what you brought to the team this year.
I felt like I helped out a lot at the beginning of the season when Finn was out. I just played a role, but be able to shoot the ball. Yeah, but this is one of the best teams I've been a part of on and off the court. This is a great team. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Now you brought it up right there. It's just embracing your role, and nobody cared like whether you were a starter getting 30 points, last guy off the bench. I think that's what really helped propel this team forward is everybody accepting their role.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Not much to say there.
Man, a lot of words there. All right, let's go to our 6'4" forward captain, Finn Bjork. Biggest guy out there, can do a slam dunk whenever you want. I mean, we didn't see all the explosiveness in the Final Four state championship, but we didn't need that. We didn't need all. Actually, Max had the biggest liftoff in the state championship with 2 minutes left. But what has it been like being a captain of this team?
It's super fun being a captain of this team because I think my role as a captain is kind of bring the energy and whatnot and get everyone else going. I feel like Max is more like the talking one, the calm us down. But I like being like the energetic captain, bringing the energy.
Now, you're one of a couple people that was a part of the football team. You, Brendan, Zach, and Keegan. Talk about the chemistry that translates from football to basketball one season right after the other.
I think the chemistry translates pretty well because we're together from August to all the way to March. So I think if you spend that much time with like a group of kids, you're gonna have like really good chemistry.
All right, last of our players, we got Jacob Loro right in the middle. Jacob Loro, I like to describe him as the silent but deadly player. Very quiet on and off the court, but you're one of the first guys off the bench, and I talked about it with Kellen, just embracing your role. What do you bring to this Raiders side that, hey, you're the first guy off, you got to make an immediate impact right off the bench?
Yeah, so off the bench, I like to, obviously I go in for Finn. I have to rebound. I try to, hit some shots and, dive on the ground for loose balls.
Yeah. One of 10 seniors on the team this year. What are you going to miss once it's all done and after you guys graduate?
I'm going to miss, being with all of them. I've been playing with them since, middle school. The Berkeley guys, travel basketball, middle school, Somerset guys, Massasoit Warriors days, And, yeah. Shout out Berkeley, B-Town.
Shout out B-Town.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We anybody that's done post-game stuff or like the interviews online on the Zoom, we know we end with a lot of fun questions. So I got 10 of them that we're gonna end off with. Everybody can answer. Coach, you can answer too, and then I'll give my opinion afterwards. We'll go pretty much the same order we went. We could go down, around. First one is, what was your favorite in-game moment during the tournament run? You can't say winning it all, but what is like the top moment that you had in a game?
I think it was actually no. The top moment for me, I would say, would have to be I guess it's not like a specific moment, but just coming out at the halftime, like that first play after coming out at halftime after Masconomet. Just like you could feel, I know all the guys on the court, we could feel that energy shift right away, and you knew that game was ours right there. So that would probably be my favorite moment from the playoff run.
Mine's not specifically like in the game. I would say my favorite moment is like getting food after the game. So I'm really gonna miss those moments, especially going to college and stuff like that. But yeah, it was really fun.
So you just ruined the second question. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, my favorite was the hugs coming off with a minute and a half left, right? And the nicknames all throughout. Even when Carson came up, we had a nickname for him. I'm not gonna say it. But that was the best part of how together we were, even through the playoffs. And the team meals at the Crooks the night before. That's stuff I'll never forget.
My favorite moment of the playoffs was Finn's lob that he caught. That was nail one. I think that was a real energy shifter, yeah.
Mine's probably going to be against Pope Francis in the third quarter when Colton just started hitting every shot, and the energy was really good.
I'm going to say my favorite moment was team dinner, just like enjoying it with everybody and really bonding going into the next game.
Mine's a little bit selfish, but championship game, hit a three-pointer. I looked at the bench, went like this to Kellen, stuck my tongue out because me and Kellen go way back to North Elementary, Northside Tigers. So just shout out them. Just had to say that.
My favorite memory from, I guess, the playoff run was probably in the state championship. Actually, I got blessed to check in with like a minute to go, a couple seconds, and Malden Catholic superstar Matt Gaffney was at the line, and me and Kellen Langlois got a chance to just chirp him a little bit, and it was just kind of funny to get in his ear, especially as just like a random, like he didn't know who I was, and we got in his head with like a minute to go. It was just kind of funny. So that's probably mine.
So my favorite moment, my good friend Alex Crook checked into the Final Four game. He got a great rebound, started dribbling up the floor, got a turnover, and then got absolutely samurai'd under the rim. He got laid on as soon as he checked into the game. It was a great play up until that moment.
My favorite in-game moment was, I'm going to say, during the finals, when there was like 3 seconds left and we were running up the court, and I just told Lou to throw it, and he threw it in the air, and we all celebrated. That was the best.
Well, my favorite moment that I did from the tournament was was my lob against Minichog. That was probably my best dunk ever. So
like kind of what Kellen said, you know, when Louis threw the ball up, me and Kellen, you know, we like jumped and, and you know, just that whole entire day, a lot of celebration. It was a great day.
My favorite part about the playoffs was like the friend connections we made and like the team bonding and like how, again, like putting on like what Coach Slater said, like going to the Crook's house and eating and like hanging out in that one room, and like again what Coach Slater said, like making the nicknames and stuff. I think that's like a good like bond we have as a team.
My favorite moment is my brother hitting a 3 against Leominster.
That court's going to get tied up down there. I think number one for me is the thin dunk again against Minichog, but everybody said that. So second one would be Dorm's heat check in the Final Four game against Masconomet, the 2 big threes at the end. Let's go quickly because we got 9 more questions, so we don't need an explanation. Some of you spoiled it already, but that's okay. Favorite non-game moment throughout your time here?
Team dinner at the Kirk's house, without a doubt.
Just mess around with Rayum.
Same thing. The team dinners were great. Just to see them all get together was a lot of fun.
My favorite was mini hoop against Tuna at Louis' house.
Team breakfast after weekend practices.
Mine was watching the baseball at Alex's house that they put on.
Driving Biz home after practice because he can't drive.
I was just searching up to see how the Yankees were doing.
My favorite was the baseball games at the team dinners at Louis'.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the team dinners.
I like going out to eat after the games.
Mine was probably seeing Rayum and Carson 1v1.
I want to say team dinners.
Yeah, I'm going to say team dinners.
I go police escort after the championship back. Yeah, that's mine. All right, next one, question 3. If we're going to do kind of awards now for the next 3 questions. Who would get the sportsmanship award on the team?
Sportsmanship award. Jacob did win it, but since Jacob already got awarded that, I'm gonna say Curtis James right here. You know, he just held his head high all season. So
I was gonna go Jacob because he gave me that pass. I mean, I'm never.
Yeah,
you know.
I feel the same way. Jacob gave up an opportunity to score in a state championship game to make the crowd go wild when Caven scored. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was J-Lo.
I'm gonna say Zach. Just the energy on the bench. He just loved everyone.
I would say Hanson because at the team dinners, he was so funny, and on the bench just watching him, he was funny.
Wasn't he one of the scrimmages against New Bedford? Wasn't he like chocolate cake or something on the bench? Yeah, all right.
I have to go with Rayum because after all the hate he gets, his head's always up.
Yeah, probably Rayum because he always just supports us a lot.
I'd go with Rayum because he deals with it, but he knows it's all jokes at the end of the day too. So
Right, Rayum?
Yeah. I'm also gonna say Rayum.
I'll go Rayum.
I'm gonna go Keegan.
I'm gonna go Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Zach King.
I go Caven. All right, what do we got for the next one? Who was the most improved player compared to last year?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Clark. Definitely Clark. He limited the turnovers, limited the craziness, and he was an elite this year. So Colton.
I'm gonna have to go Kellen. He really developed as a player.
I was gonna say Kellen too. He came in and was just awesome at tryouts. So him and Zach King just really brought it in tryouts. So really happy for those two.
I think it's Kellen as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Kellen.
I'm gonna say Kellen too.
I'm gonna go with my boy Bjork because my boy Bjork he got better at rebounding so I can cherry pick.
I honestly think Dom. I mean, he got in the weight room a lot over the offseason, got a lot stronger. I mean, we were calling him he was made of steel all year, so he wasn't like that last year.
I think it was Rayum. He really transitioned. He transitioned from a guard to more of a forward. So he really good job. He really got that post work in. So.
I'm gonna go and say Zach.
I'm gonna say Clark. I've been saying that since the summer.
I'm gonna say Louis. His offensive game, got a lot better.
I'm gonna say Kellen.
I'm gonna go with Kellen too.
Do we have like a stat mark of what Kellen's 3-point percentage was on? It was like almost 50. It's crazy. I go Alex Kirk. That's my choice. Next one is who would win the coaches award? I don't know if that's one like if you gave away or not, but who was like the best with the coaches?
Oh, I would say probably Zach. Zach King. I think he's.
I'm gonna go Max.
Yeah, I would say Max too.
I'd go Zach King.
I'd say Max.
Max.
Definitely go Max.
Yeah, I'd say Max Finlaw, great leader.
I'd also go Max.
Yeah, I'll go Max Finlaw.
Yeah, Max.
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 Who was the only one that didn't say Max? It was Max, right?
No, I said Hanson.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know it enough, so I'll probably go with it. I'll take their word for it. Next one is we talked about the student section. We know we talk about the students a lot. Who was your favorite student cheering you on this year?
My favorite student cheering this on was this might come as a surprise, Ant Fernandez. He had a legacy game in the championship. He lifted up his shirt. There's an electric picture. My sister looks horrified in the bottom right. Or Hayden Teasdale.
I'm gonna go the Portuguese Hammer, Gavin Sylvester.
I don't know a lot of their names, but the whole section was just
That's the only right answer.
Definitely Gavin Sylvester.
I'm gonna have to go with Hayden Teasdale.
I'm gonna go with myself.
I'm gonna go with Marcus Gomes. He's coming different next year.
That's a good one.
Probably Austin Parker. He was getting really hype in the student section.
I'm gonna go with Kellen Cardell. He had a shirt with me and Zach on it. It was really awesome.
I'm gonna have to go with Miguel.
Who? Miguel. I'm going with the Portuguese Hammer, Gavin Sylvester, and Hayden Teasdale.
I'm gonna go with my cousin Isaac Laura.
I'm gonna say Isaac Laura too.
Isaac Laura.
I go Hayden Teasdale on that one. I go Hayden. Next one is who is one school that you would have liked to play or maybe seeing added onto your schedule next year? You are not allowed to say Franklin High School.
Oh, not allowed to say Franklin. Well, for like I'll answer like for a game like this year that I wanted to play because like next year obviously but I think us playing Burncoat again would have been pretty fun. They had like a team kind of like with all the returning players like us, and then they ended up playing Dartmouth, so I think that'd have been cool.
I think I would have said Oliver Ames. I think it would have been a very good game.
being an Attleboro guy, I would have loved to play Attleboro.
Well, you had them in the scrimmage, though, right? All right, good.
Durfee.
Oliver Ames.
Oh,
you want a rematch?
All right. Well, you want to hear, though. You want to hear.
I'm going to say Oliver Ames.
Oliver Ames, all right.
Oliver Ames.
Probably like 2016 Chino Hills, the Ball Brothers. You know?
Probably BP. They had a really strong team this year.
Shout out Tim Plant, by the way. Shout out Tim Plant.
I would have loved to face Argosy this season.
I'm going to go and say Oliver Ames. That would have been a good game.
I liked the Burncoat kids last year, so I'll say Burncoat.
I'll also say Oliver Ames.
I'm also saying Oliver Ames.
I'm going with Bristol Plymouth.
All right, I got 3 of them. Oliver Ames, Mansfield, Pioneer Valley. Pioneer Valley, only undefeated team. That's why I would have wanted you to go. Yeah. Well, what division was Norwell? 3? All right. Pioneer Valley's D5. But they cruised, though. They cruised their whole way. The next one is this is why I didn't say you couldn't choose Franklin for the first one. Franklin won the D1 championship. If you guys played each other, I know you guys are going to say you guys, but who wins by how many points? Let's be realistic. We're not winning by 30, okay? Let's be realistic.
I'll be completely honest. No disrespect, they have a great team over there, but they kind of got one main guy, and I think we specialize in defenses that have one main guy. I think we beat them by at least 15.
I think 10 plus points we beat them by.
I'm not going against our guys, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
No way.
10 plus.
I'd say over 5.
20 piece.
I feel like we're giving them 30.
I actually got some insight. So my uncle, he's the coach of Bridgewater Rainham, and Franklin actually bounced Bridgewater Rainham in the playoffs, and he said we would have beat them by 20 plus.
I covered that game, by the way.
Really? Yeah. I think it would be a game winner, so maybe by 2. So I think it'd be a close game.
I got SB by 25.
I'd say us by 15.
I'll say us by 15 also.
I'll say us by 10.
I would say us by 10.
Has anybody actually seen Franklin play in person? Yeah. I go you guys by 6 because they can shoot the ball. And they're similar to you guys. You guys got 5 guys that could score. They got 4 of them that could score. Yeah, yeah, they got anybody. Next one, does anybody want to announce any college commitments? I don't know if you guys mentioned anything. Does anybody have a college commitment yet? Anybody?
Duke called me, but
Anybody? No college commitments? Any prep school transfers?
I'm committed to play football at Suffield Academy.
There you go.
I'm committed to play basketball at Pomfret in Connecticut.
So where is that? That's at New York, right? Connecticut? All right. And how does that, I told you this, and I haven't told them yet. Usually, I'm not a fan of, the taking the gap year, doing another one, but I'm not going to hate against you guys doing it. But what's it like you're going to get now another year of experience trying to build up your stock, maybe go D1 for college at some point?
Yeah, it's kind of like an exposure thing because you're playing other prep schools. So, when here you play smaller schools, they don't really you don't really get looks. So at that school you get recruited heavier.
It's really just that extra year. You just got another year to develop and also play against better competition. Next year I'll be playing against Bjork again.
There you go. There you go.
Somebody else is going to prep school too. I think Caterer, you might be going to Governor's Academy or something like that. I don't know where that is, but
I thought he was doing overtime elite. No, T's going to overtime elite.
All right. Second to last one, it's going to be a 2-part question. Any interest in coaching for any of the seniors, and who would be the best coach on the team?
Yeah, coaching would always be that'd be fun. That'd be a great thing to do. We'll see whatever happens down the line, but the best coach on the team out of the seniors, I would say Keegan. He's got an elite basketball IQ. He's a genius. So I'd say Keegan.
I don't know if I would coach in the future, but I would definitely help out with some people if they need to get some work in. But I would probably say Max Finlaw. I think he's a really coachable person.
Who would you say would be the best coach for? Oh, is it gonna be Mason?
I think he's going to be a great coach. Yeah, I'm so happy he reached out to help us out this year. I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah. We'll have the non-seniors. We'll just say who would be the best at coaching.
I think either Max Finlaw or Zach King.
I would say Max Finlaw.
Max Finlaw.
Can I give a reason why? Definitely Tuna, because Tuna would be the drippiest coach. Straight puddles everywhere he steps. All of his hype beast fits. He was to practice. He would just be dripping.
Wait, does it have to be a senior?
Yes.
Oh man.
Well, no, if it for like who would be the best coach? You
Yeah.
can say a junior.
I honestly think Dom Taylor would be the best coach. Kind of, it runs within the family, and he just has so much basketball IQ.
I think it would be Dom as well. I think he'd have everyone on a meal plan, bars all day. I think bars and shoot machine all day, and I think he'd have a very good team.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also gonna go with Dom Taylor.
I'm gonna go Max Hansen. I think he's just a really like sociable and like relatable guy. Like everybody messes with Hansen, so
I'm gonna go with Dom.
Max Finlaw.
I think Max Finlaw.
Well, I can tell you right now, if Finn was ever he'd be like the drill sergeant. He'd be just yelling and screaming at everybody if he was if he was a coach. I'd probably go Dom if that's the coach. I'm probably going with him. Last one, anybody you can shout out at home that's watching. Anybody.
Shout out my grandfather. You know, Dave Tickle. He's the biggest fan out there, you know, at every game. And then also my grandmother, Kathy Belandry, you know, she would bring me food before all the games. And she just started doing it. I wouldn't even ask at the end. She just brought it there. And both of them are just such great persons. And shout out my grandparents.
I like to shout out my dad and my mom and the Portuguese Hammer and Kenzie too.
I'd like to shout out the Comfort Zone and Agoros for live streaming our game. My wife, my kids went to all the games this year, and the state championship, I had cousins come down from Maine. I had cousins come up from Connecticut and Massachusetts to watch our game. I just wanted to give them a shout out.
I'd shout out my mom and my dad.
I'm gonna shout out Max's grandmother because I always felt bad for bringing Max subs before every single game.
I'll shout out my mom and my dad.
I'll shout out my dad, Brian, my friend Marcus Gomes, all the work we put in, and I would like to shout out the set really put in.
Yeah, big shout out to my dad, Banana Man. I mean, it's been awesome seeing him at every game. I'd always dap him up at like halftime and even before the game. He's just been awesome. Such an awesome guy.
I'll shout out a couple people. First, we'll start with the Pope section. I like the Pope Francis student section. We'll also shout out UT. He was really giving knocks to everyone after the game. I think everyone enjoyed that.
I'd like to shout out my mom, my dad, and my two little brothers.
Shout out my mom, my dad, and my sister, and my dog.
I would like to shout out my dad. You know, he's been to like every game since like freshman year. You know, goes even in middle school he went to every single game. So really big shout out to him and my mom.
Shout out my mom and my dad.
Shout out my cousin Isaac.
Oh wait, Keegan, can I get one more person to shout out?
Depends.
Oh no, it's a good one. I just promise you.
You can't say me.
Oh, it's not you. It won't be you. All right. Last shout out. I'd like to shout out the greatest player in SB basketball history. You know, I'm not gonna say his name just yet, but he's my best friend. He comes down from college, watching me play every game. Jack Finlaw, Jay. You know, I would shout out him. You know.
All right, last segment we got is a Coach Q&A. Coach, you can ask any player any question you want. Anything you want.
Yeah, Finn, what was it like just being at practice every day? I've always said it, I think you love your teammates more than I've ever seen another player. Is that how it really was, or like is that how you feel?
Absolutely. I love being at practice so much with all the guys, and I don't like being home. Like I'd rather be like at practice with all of them. Like, that's my biggest thing.
Colton, I want to ask you a question. How does it feel to do what you did this year?
Feels really good. do what I did this year, just playing with like a bunch of guys I've been playing with the past couple years. It's really good just to win it for them because they're all seniors, so they're not really, most of them not going to play next year. So it's really good just to end their season on a good note and their basketball careers on a good note. So.
Next question is scout team. Did you enjoy yourself? Do you feel like you're really part of it? Because you really were. We really appreciated everything you came up and did. You guys are great. I just want to make sure that you enjoyed yourself and had a good time.
I would say that the early morning practices I did not really enjoy, but I mean everything else, the team dinner, the practices after school, the practices at 5, they're all great, and I felt really a part of it, especially when we all hung out and slept over Max's.
I'm gonna have to agree. I didn't really like the morning practices, but it made up for like all the friends and seniors that I made this year, and I could go to like each and every one of them and say how good they are and how their friend, and it really made me like excited.
I'm just gonna have to agree. I'm really glad I got called up.
All right, Dom. How does it feel to be one of the best defenders in the state?
I mean, I'm not going to be honest. I never thought I would be good at defense. I was always horrible at defense, so. No, I said I'm going to have to be honest. I never thought I was going to be. I don't know. It's always making up questions. Yeah, no, it's an awesome feeling now that I have that.
This one's for Caden, J-Lo, Kellen, Zach, Hance, Caven. I know if you were at other schools, you would have played a lot more. How did you feel just being a part of this team?
I think I could say this for all of us. Like, obviously, we could have played more at like a different school, maybe. But 10 out of 10 times, we choose to stay here and be with everybody. I'd way rather be like this and just win a state championship. And even if not, just be with the guys. I mean, it's been a blast here. So definitely, I feel like none of us minded.
You know, we could have played somewhere else, but I don't think we would have had as much fun anywhere else. So I think we had a great time here.
No, I agree with Zach. I feel like this team's very like one of one. Like you're not getting like this at any other team you go to, and especially not to like play for a championship.
Who were the other ones?
Yeah, I would have definitely. I liked staying here. You know, I feel like other schools are not like as close as we are with each other, so definitely made it a lot of fun.
I'm playing with all my friends. You know, and if I went to another school, I wouldn't have as much fun as I did with this team. So yeah.
All right, last one, Max. Oh, sorry. I thought you were second. My bad, bro.
I definitely choose this out of anything else. I've built great. I built great connections with them.
I did like you guys did all year, right? I did. My last question is for Max. Were you offended that I called you our unsung hero?
No, I actually thought that was probably one of the nicest, probably the nicest. Stop pulling on the mic. Probably I took that as a huge compliment. You know, sometimes I feel like I get like a bit overlooked at times, but you know, for what I do. But Coach Slater always sees the true impact, and he constantly reminds me of that. And seeing that was probably like one of the highlights of my season. That was really nice to see from such a guy that I look up to and stuff. So I love you, Clarky. But yeah, so shout out Coach Slater. He's the best.
Anything else?
That was my last one. Oh, actually, I have one for you. How does it feel just to be around these guys all the time? To be involved in it. Now you get in a ring. How does that feel?
Coach, it's awesome. It's one. And so again, I said it earlier with the Berkeley guys. Like I grew up with them, watching them play rec with my brother Kyle. Shout out Kyle too, and like he does football with you guys too, and just like even doing the scoreboard back in middle school, like especially when Dom was the star at middle school basketball, he was. But it's like we're all growing old together. Some of us worse than others, but no, it's been fun. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a great 2 years, and it's not going to be the same next year. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, that's all it for me. I have a little less hair left now, but it was a great season. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll have another season like this. It's pretty special.
No, and it's 16 years. Somerset was never really a basketball school. They were in the 2000s when you were an assistant coach. But I believe the first year you were a head coach, it was like 5 and 15 or something. Yeah, but it's just amazing the turnaround that we've had in the last few years.
It's nice to get recognized, but you got to have the horses, and we had the horses this year. We haven't really changed anything in 16 years as far as our attitude towards scouting, having kids prepared. It was the same, and like I said, man, you got to have the horses.
All right, let's do some quick shout-outs, and then we'll wrap it up. You guys can give a round of applause after each group that we do it. First off, our security personnel, Miss Tammy, Jeff Siska, and Bridget. If they weren't there, student section would have been charging on the court every single game. Next ones are ticket sellers, Miss Ferris and Mr. Talbot, for helping get everybody into the gym all the time. Our game clock, shot clock operators, Miss Mollicone, Mia Slater, Mr. LaRue, Mary Finglas, Dominique Oliveira, and Mr. Francis stepping in at one point. And I think the biggest one, the scorebook, Sheila, she deserves this more than anybody. She's been 20 years, I think she's been here. Yeah, so give Sheila some love on the cast. Let's see. Who else do I have on here? Yo, Max, I had this on the whole time. Hold on a second. I lost the list. Hold on. Give me a second. We're going to cut this out. Let's see. I said everybody for game day, right? Did I? All right. Shout out AT too. Shout out AT. I told AT right after the game, like, she helped you guys. Like, whenever somebody was hurt, and I think one game, she said, like, your heart rate was at, like, 240 or something like that. Like, no, but you guys don't win if she's not there helping you out. So she gets a big round of applause. I want to shout out the players that aren't here today, who are McDonald, Crook. Who else is in here? Brady Carpenter. Who's the other one? I think we're missing somebody else. Who's the other one we're missing? Who? Ryan? No, varsity. I thought we were missing 4, so shout out to them, and shout out to the 13 players and the JV side too. You guys have put in a lot of work this year. You guys deserve everything you're getting this year. I'll say that. We said the table crew. Thank you to all the staff that showed up at the games, whether it's our principals, assistant principals, other teachers coming to support these guys. Like, you can't hate this team. Like, even if it's like a team that's won 5 championships, like Malden Catholic or something like that, it's not a hateable team. Like, you guys are awesome to watch. So give everybody one more round of applause out there. And then I had you guys give out your shout-outs earlier. Shout out to everybody who tuned in for every single one of our games this year. My channel, whether it was JJ or Carter doing it as well. We got to shout them out too. JJ and Carter stepping in. Carter stepping up big time in the championship game. He's been doing it for 5 months, and he nailed it during the championship game. I think that's all I've got. Does anybody have any other shout-outs you'd like to give at home? Anybody?
This is definitely from all of us. You know, shout out to Mr. Keegan Hamblett right here himself. You know, he did so much for us this whole season. He made us feel like we were playing at like the professional level with all these interviews and stuff. But yeah, no, Keegan's the real MVP of the team. So shout out Keegan, and it was awesome with what you did this year.
Thank you, Max. And we're not going to address, I know we have a lot of seniors in the room. It's not going to be the same next year. I know there's all the speculation going on of what's happening next year. Is bookkeeper Sheila leaving us? Is there going to be any other changes? Am I going to be back? You can't fake loving another team. I'll say that right now. So if I go somewhere else, it's not going to be the same as this. I'll say that right now. That's going to do it for our championship wrap-up show. I hope everybody had fun. I had fun. You guys have fun doing this? Yeah. And maybe we'll do one for...
I got one more question. You guys still want to do question and answer day next year? Yeah.
And then there's one thing that we always end off with. It's the dogs barking. I will have Max count us down for it, and then we'll all do it. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, have a good night, everybody.